Okay, let's get started. So we're going to be focusing on the pelvis and hips today. So just to kind of bring our focus down into that area of the body, we're going to start with a hand mudra. It's called Dhyana Mudra. I'll show you facing the screen. So your palms rest one in the other and the thumbs touch. And as you can see, it makes the shape. I'll show you here on my friend Augustus. This is Gus. Here's Gus's pelvis right here. You can see the shape is kind of like a shallow bowl, and that hand gesture that we're making mimics the shape of the pelvic bowl. All right, so we're going to make that shape, and that's going to help us draw our attention into the bowl shape of the pelvis. And then you can just go ahead and close your eyes and sit comfortably, keeping that mudra. It's called Dhyana Mudra. Start to notice your breath. And then imagine your breath as if it were traveling down into that bowl shape of your pelvis and filling it up. So imagine your breath filling the bowl of your pelvis as if you were filling a bowl with water. Your hand mudra, your gesture, is there as another tactile reminder of that bowl shape. You can even imagine filling your hand mudra with your breath. Bringing your attention down deep into your hips, into your pelvis. Keep that idea going. Take one more full breath, filling all the way up. Fill up that bowl. And release. And then go ahead and open your eyes and sit a little bit taller, drawing your shoulders up over your hips, away from the back of the chair. Before we begin to move, we're going to do one more breathing exercise. It is an alternate nostril breathing practice. It's called Ida Nadi. And simply with your first finger and thumb, bring that right up in front of your face, and you'll draw the thumb to your left nostril and breathe in through your right nostril. I'm sorry, the opposite. Close off the right nostril with your thumb, breathe in through the left nostril. And then you'll close the left nostril and breathe out through the right. So that's the pattern. You'll close with your thumb and breathe in through the left. You'll close and breathe out through the right. You're going to keep that pattern going. And the breath will be slow because you're closing off part of your intake airway. So it helps us to slow the rate of respiration, calming down the nervous system. Helping to slow the heart rate gently. Keep that going. One more round. The next time that you exhale out the right, just relax your hand back down to your lap. And then begin to circle your head. Neck circles, roll it out. And reverse directions. And come back to center. Begin to roll your shoulders back, big scooping circles. One more. And reverse directions, roll them forward. One more like that. Relax your shoulders. Begin to swirl your body around over your hips as if you were stirring a pot. Your torso is the stirrer, the spoon, and your pelvis is the pot. Moving through the spine, rolling the rib cage around. Feel how this movement helps you to get your breath moving in your body as well. And then reverse directions. Stir it the other way. One more go round. And then right back to center. Begin to move through the right shoulder as if you were doing like a half backstroke. Full range of motion, drawing it all the way forward and up and back and down. And then we'll reverse arms, do the left arm. I'm letting someone into the waiting room. Keep going. Just swirl that arm back as if you're doing the backstroke. And then let's come back to the right arm, and now we'll do the crawl stroke. So bring that arm forward, back and up and forward and down. And reverse arms. Let's take the left arm forward. And one more. Bring your arms down to your lap. Take a deep breath. And let it go. Bring both arms all the way up overhead. Deep breath in. Exhale. Take a side bend to your right. You can hold your chair leg for support. Drape that left arm overhead. Come back to center. Both arms lift high. And over to a side bend to the left. Both arms lift high, deep breath in, release your hands down by your sides. Turn your legs so that you're facing to the right, both knees facing right, and then turn so you face the back of your own chair. So both hands will come to the seat, you're turning back, it's a twist, you're looking back towards the space behind you. And unwind, come back to center. We'll just turn it over to the other side. Walk your knees to face left. Turn towards the back of your chair, hands to the back of your chair. Take your twist. And come back around to center. Roll your wrists around. Make fists and just roll the wrists. Roll the other direction. And then gently opening and closing the hands, spreading the fingers wide and making fists, going back and forth, opening and closing. Keep that going. I'm letting someone else into the waiting room. Keep that movement going, opening and closing. You're working the hands and the forearms. And then give it a little shake. Extend your right leg out with the heel on the ground and the toes facing up towards the ceiling. And then begin to roll your ankle around. Doesn't matter which way you go, we'll go the other direction in a moment. And then reverse directions. And release it. Take the left foot forward, heel down, toes up, and then begin to rotate that ankle. And go the other direction. and release. With both feet planted, lift your heels off the ground so you come up onto the balls of your feet, and then lift up onto your tiptoes. So it's like you're pointing your toes right down to the ground like you're a ballerina on point. Then release the balls of the feet down, release the heels. We'll do that again. Lift up to the balls of the feet, lift up to your tiptoes like you're on point, release down to the balls of the feet, release the heels. One more time, lift up and on to your tippy toes, and come down to the balls of the feet, and release the heels. And then give your ankles another little whirl around, just loosening up. And pick up your right leg. Pick it up underneath the knee, so you've got a firm hold on the leg, and we're gonna roll the hip joint open. Just rolling the knee out to the side, moving through that ball and socket joint at the hip. And then reverse directions. Roll it inward. And let it go. Switch legs, pick it up, and roll it around. Pick a direction, any direction, because we'll switch in a moment. Make big circles. Okay, and reverse. Good, and let it go. Pick up the right leg again. This time, hug your knee in tight towards your torso. Sit up tall as if you're using your leg, your thigh, like a pole to lengthen your spine up against that pole. Take a nice full breath here. And then as you breathe out, round down towards your leg, drawing your nose towards your knee or your forehead towards your knee. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, curl. Last time. Now reach up nice and long and pull your knee wide this time. So you're drawing it towards the outer edge of your rib cage, towards your right armpit. And place it down. Lift the left leg. Draw it in nice and close to your torso. Snuggle your belly and your chest right up to your thigh. Take a deep breath. Lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, extending the spine. Exhale, flexing. One more time. Extend and flex. And then come on up, sit tall. Draw that knee wide. So you're drawing open towards your left armpit. And release your foot. Step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Breathing in, sweep your arms out and up overhead. Exhale your hands right down to the center of your chest. As you breathe in, lift your breastbone up towards the ceiling, a little back bend. As you breathe out, forward bend, hands to your knees. Inhale, press up, sit tall. Exhale, release your breath. Again, breathing in, sweep your arms up high. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, chest lifts, look up. Exhale, hands to knees, forward bend. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, relax. And now come up to stand behind your chair. I'm going to move mine forward so I have space. So standing behind your chair, step your feet wider than the chair legs. So step them out fairly wide. Have your left toes turned in slightly. Turn your right foot out so it faces out to the right and bend into the right knee. So this is warrior two. Extend your right arm and look over your fingertips. Just breathe. Feel the strength in your legs. Notice your feet. Feel grounding down through the feet so you have a nice firm foundation. Flip your right palm up towards the ceiling. Keep the bend in your right knee as you reach that arm up and overhead for a side bend. This is peaceful warrior. Come back up, and now lay your forearm on your thigh. If this is too deep a bend for you, you can come up higher with the hand to the thigh.
I see video.
Right, so either hand on your thigh or forearm on your thigh. This is extended side angle. Please make sure that your microphone is muted. I do hear some sound. There should be a little red line through the microphone on your screen, so please do double check that. From here, hand to your right thigh, straighten the right leg. Triangle pose variation. You can bring both hands to the back of the chair if you wish. We're still in a little bit of a lean to the side with the torso. You may be feeling a stretch along the inner thigh. Come up, stand tall, turn the right toes in so that both feet are now facing forward once again, and lean forward over the chair seat so that you're hinging like a door from the hips, right from the hips, spine is long. Press up, stand tall. Now turn your heels in and bend your knees. So your toes are facing out sideways and your knees are bending out over your toes. Sit low. Straighten your legs, breathe in. Bend your knees, breathe out. Again, breathing in, straighten up through your legs. And then bending as you breathe out. Once again, straighten. This time, turn your right toes in slightly, left toes facing directly out to the left, bending into the left knee, left arm extends and gaze over your left fingertips. We're back in that warrior two shape on the other side. Again, drawing your attention to your feet. Make sure that you feel your heels, your pinky toe side of the foot, your big toe side of the foot. Flip the left palm, keep the bend in the left knee as you reach up and back for that side bend. Peaceful warrior. Come back up, and now again, it's hand to thigh or forearm to thigh for extended side angle. If you can come as deep as the forearm on the thigh, do. If that's too much for you, lift it up higher. And then begin to straighten the front leg with your hand on your thigh or your hand to the back of the chair so that both hands are on the back of the chair. We're still in a side lean with the torso, stretching out the inner thigh of the left leg. It's a triangle pose variation. Come on up, stand tall, turn those toes in, both feet parallel, facing forward once again. Lean forward. You're moving from the hip joints. Your spine is still long and extended, trying not to round, trying just to lean forward. Breathe. Press up, stand tall, turn your heels in and bend your knees. You're back in that squat pose. Straighten your legs and bend. Move with your breath. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Stand up with your legs straight and turn your toes back in so the feet are facing front and are parallel to each other once again. Now, bend into your right knee, shift your weight over to the right leg. Come through center, bend into the left knee, weight shifting over the left leg. We're going to move side to side like that. If this is enough for you and you feel plenty of stretch in your inner thighs as you move, stay there. If you would like more sensation of stretch, you can walk your feet out wider so that the bend is a little bit deeper. Okay, it's really up to you. Just notice how you feel. Moving side to side. One more time to the right and one more time to the left. And then heel toe your feet back together underneath your hips. Stand tall, take a deep breath, and let it go. Come to stand on the right side of your chair and turn the left toes to the left so that your foot is coming underneath the seat of the chair. Step your right foot a little bit wider with the toes facing either forward or slightly in. Okay, either way is fine. We're going to come into a variation of triangle pose, and you have options as to how far you want to take this. It may just be hand to the back of the chair as you lift the other arm up towards the ceiling. You might come all the way down onto your forearm. If you still have room, you might come down onto the seat of the chair with your palm flat on the seat. The lifted arm straight up from the center of your chest and up, so that instead of having that arm behind you or in front of you, it's moving straight up from the center of your body. And maybe your gaze turns up. Keep breathing. To come up out of this, press really firmly into your right foot. Lift up through your right hand. You can press your left hand into the seat. Come on up and walk your feet back together. Keep standing on the right side of your chair. Planting down into your left foot, lift your right leg and start to roll the hip around. And then roll it the other way. Step it back to the ground. Make sure that your weight feels pretty even between right and left feet. And then shift your weight to the left foot. Lift the right leg again. As you move the knee out to the right, connect your foot either to your calf muscle, or you can have your heel against your ankle and your toes on the ground. So either variation of tree pose is fine. You can have that kickstand, toes on the ground, or you can have the foot up against your calf. From there, press down into your standing foot. Lift up through the rest of your body as if you have a zipper moving up the front of the body. Maybe lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. We're going to step back into a little curtsy. The right leg will step behind the left. Both knees will bend. You'll take a little bow. Press off of your left foot. Come right back into tree pose. Again, stepping back, take your little bow. This is Saraswati pose. Press off, lift up, tree pose. One more time. Step back, take a bow. Press off, find tree pose. Release that back down to the ground. Take your big toes together so they're touching. Bend your knees, sitting into chair pose. Have your right hand on your hip for a little bit of extra grounding and stability. Press into your left leg, lift your right leg, wrap at the thigh. So you're crossing the right thigh over the left, squeeze the thighs together, and then squeeze the shins towards each other, trying to close the gap between the legs as much as possible. Take a deep breath. We're gonna step back into that curtsy. Unwind the right leg, step it back, take a bow. Press off, lift up, wind it again. One more time. Step it back, Saraswati pose. Press off, wind it up. This is eagle. Stand tall, let it go. Relax for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Release your breath out. Once again, sit into that little chair pose. Now, this time you have options. We're going to take a figure 4 in the legs. So the right foot can either step across the left with the toes on the ground, and you'll press the right shin into the left to move the knee out to the side. That's option 1. Option 2 is to lift the ankle above the left knee and find a figure 4 shape up higher. Both knees are bent. Keep breathing. Stand tall, unwind whatever you have, and give it a little wiggle. And then we're going to step it over to the other side. Coming onto the left side of the chair. Turn your right toes underneath the chair to face right. Step your left foot a little bit wider. Left foot is either facing forward or toes can be slightly turned in. Hand to the back of the chair to begin. Lift the left arm up. Triangle pose variation. So you can stay here You can bring the forearm all the way to the back of the chair, or you can bring your palm to the seat of the chair. Again, make sure that top arm isn't wanging back behind you, isn't out in front of you, but instead is moving straight from the center of the chest out of the shoulder, up towards the ceiling. The gaze can be up if it's comfortable for your neck. If not, forward or even down. Okay? Just breathe. Think about pressing firmly into your left foot, lifting up through your left hand to pull you up and out of this shape. You can use your right hand to press up, release, and walk your feet back together. Step into your right foot, lift your left leg, and start to roll the hip open. And reverse directions. Place it back down. Find an even sense of weight between your feet, and then press your weight into your right foot, lift your left, turn out at the knee, and again, take your tree pose variation of choice. Foot to calf or toes to ground with your heel against your ankle for that little kickstand variation. Either way is fine. Lift up through your left arm, lengthen up through your spine, press down through that right leg, get tall, get long. Keep breathing. From here, we're going to step back into that little curtsy. So the left leg will step back behind the right, both knees bend, take a little bow, press off, come right back into tree pose. Breathing in, breathing out, take your bow. Breathing in, press off, stand tall. One more time, step it back, take a bow. Press back into tree pose and release. Big toes together. Sit down into your little chair, left hand to left hip. Press into your right foot, lift your left leg, wrap it over the right. So you're crossing at the thigh, squeeze the thighs together, squeeze the shins together. So you're trying not to have that shin moving out to the right, but instead drawing it in, trying to close the space between your legs. Take a deep breath in and then step back, Saraswati. Take a little bow, bending both knees, press off, lift up and wind it up. One more time. Press it back, take a little curtsy, press off, come up, wind it up, and then step out of it. Relax for a moment, take a deep breath in, release your breath out. Figure 4 of choice. So again, you can step the left foot over the right with the toes on the ground and the shin pressing into the right shin to open your left knee out to the left. That might be plenty for your hip. Bend the standing knee, and there you go. If you want to go further, you'll slide the ankle up above the knee, open that figure 4 out to the left, and again, sit down into the standing leg. Keep breathing. It's a big hip stretch. It's a lot of strength involved in your standing leg. Stand tall, unwind it, shake it off. And then come back again to your seat. And step your feet wide. Toes turned out to the sides, knees facing over the toes, hands on your kneecaps. You're going to dip the left shoulder towards your right knee. So take a deep breath in. As you exhale, dip the shoulder down. Inhale back to center. Other side. Dip the shoulder towards the opposite knee. Inhale back to center. Again, dip down. Lift it up. Dip it down. And lift it up. One more each side. And dip. And lift. Now slide your right hand down the inside of your right leg. Press the hand into your inner thigh and knee to open it up a little bit. Find that connection between leg and arm, and then open up the left arm to the ceiling. Twist. Look up at the ceiling if you can. Stay and breathe. Come up, sit tall. Take a breath. And let it go. Slide the left hand down the inside of the left leg. Press the arm into the leg. Find the connection from the leg into the arm. Open up the right arm. Twist. Maybe looking up if you can. Breathe. One more breath. Come on up. Draw your legs back together for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Release your breath out. Inhale, both arms lift high. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Take your right hand to the seat behind your right hip. Take a turn to the right. And unwind to center. Same thing, other side. Take your hand to the outside of your thigh and the other hand behind your hip on the seat of the chair and take your turn. And come back to center, unwinding. Once again, step your feet wide. Breathe in, lift both arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Hands to your knees. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, round the spine, curling back. Inhale, open the chest, press the knees wide. Exhale, curl in. Again, inhale, little back bend, shoulders down, heart lifting, knees open. Exhale, curl, draw it in. Come back up, sit tall. Lean forward, so you're leaning out over your wide legs. You can stay here, or you can slide your hands to your ankles and drop lower. If it's not appropriate for you to have your head below the level of your heart, stay up higher. Wherever you are, press back up, sit tall. Bring your knees back together, legs facing straight out in front of you. Lean forward over your thighs, and then roll your shoulders back and lift your chest like you're coming into a back bend. You can lift your gaze. You might even lift your chin forward and up a bit more. Now, draw your elbows back as if you're trying to reach your elbows back behind you and up towards the ceiling, working the back line muscles. Sit tall, relax. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. And let it go. Once again, lean forward over your thighs. Belly to thighs, chest meeting your thighs. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up. So your belly might still be down on your thighs, but you're trying to lift your chest away from your legs. Chin drawing forward, maybe up. So you're in a back bend. Draw your elbows back and squeeze them up towards the ceiling. Again, you're really working the muscles on the back of your body. Press up, sit tall, sit back, relax. Let your back release into the chair behind you. Relax your shoulders, relax your palms. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Release the breath out. Again, deep breath in. Release the breath out. Now allow your breath to return to a natural, unrestrained state, unmanipulated. Let it return to normal. Soft breath in, soft breath out. Soften the skin of your forehead, undoing the furrow between the eyebrows. Soften the skin around the bridge of your nose. Release all the little muscles around your mouth, your lips. Separate your teeth, your back molars, allowing the jaw muscles to relax. That might allow your tongue to also relax, and then soften the front of your throat. Allow your shoulders to drape down away from your earlobes, softening the tops of the shoulders, lengthening the sides of the neck and the back of the neck. You might even find a very gentle lift of the back of your skull, that occipital ridge, a little bit of lift there so that the chin softens down ever so slightly, softening the front of the throat. Without forcing it. Draw your attention to your belly and feel the rise and fall of your navel center with your breath. Draw your attention to your chest. See if you can feel the rise and fall of your breastbone. Inhaling, breastbone lifts up. Exhaling, it releases down. Feel your breath as it moves through your throat. Notice your breath as it moves through your nostrils. Can you feel the difference in temperature? The breath goes in, it's a little cooler. The breath goes out, it's a little warmer. Maybe you can identify which nostril is dominant right now. Keep that breath awareness going, noticing your nose, your throat, your chest, your belly. shift your attention to the back of your body. Notice your breath moving into the back ribs, expanding the space between your shoulder blades. Maybe you can feel the breath moving down into the very bottom ribs, the low back ribs. And then release all of that, let it go. Keeping your eyes closed, peel your back away from the back of the chair, shoulders over your hips now, spine long and upright. Take a deep breath in. Release the breath out of your mouth. Open your eyes. Next breath in, sweep your arms up high, deep breath. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll take one more breath. Exhale, take a bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up, for joining me today. And remember that next week we'll be back. So I hope you'll join me again.
Thank you.